Well, hello. It's Friday, the 2nd of August. The year is halfway gone already. So, I'm just waking up, but I laid in the bed and said, yeah, I'll make a video today. And I received a record and it's focused on that, but I want to try to just go for a while today and see what arises. Possibly respond to some comments I've gotten recently if I remember them, or, Before I talk about music, let me talk about this t-shirt. Jeff Decker's Army. As you can see, this is a take on Kiss Army, okay? As you know, I don't care for the music of Kiss. I think they're really quite wretched musically. But over the years, I've learned to respect what they mean to people. How's that? Terrible band, but they mean so much to people, and they have caused so much to happen musically that I appreciate that. I give them my respect. Jeff Decker was a local musician. He died in 2017. He was a metalhead and a punker, and he was a total Kiss freak. I need to explain, it's important. Jeff Decker was a special guy, and then I'll move on. I want him to be remembered, actually. Jeff was in his late 40s when he died. He was either Asperger's or autistic, but to the point that you could see it, okay? He had one of those kind of countenances where you can see it, okay? But he was a beautiful person, and he was like, what you saw is what you get. And he played guitar. He was a record collector. He was the Rain Man of metal here in Omaha. If there was anything related to hard rock or metal, he knew it. And he would do a full Gene Simmons thing. He had it all down. There's pictures. I think the local Hard Rock Cafe in Iowa actually has added his Gene Simmons costume to their shrine. He was really something. He was a beautiful, beautiful person. So that's what the t-shirt is about. And like I said, wretched band, Kiss. Wretched. Don't even bother to write to me and defend Kiss. If you have to, go ahead. But you're wasting your time. Their songs suck for me. I don't care what it means to you, musically. I gotta be like this because, I had someone complain about they didn't like my personality. It's probably me being really honest. Maybe they don't like whatever else. I don't, like, again, I'm saying it right now, whatever. I gotta be me, and why should I soft pedal? I've done it for years. Find the nicest way to say what you're thinking. Just say what you're thinking. Kiss sucks. And I met them, and that didn't help. I met Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. I've told the story before, years ago. Must have been a long time ago. And Paul Stanley was an absolute dick. Gene Simmons was better. Okay? That reminds me, someone just asked me. People make requests. I ignore them for the most part because it's not how I'm doing this, okay? Someone asked if I would make a video about stories of seeing bands. I just sprinkled them in, okay? Requests just basically turn me off. Okay, so is there something wrong with that, being turned off by request? No, it's the way I am. So as you can see, I'm not trying to get likes and be popular and all that social media bullshit. I'm here talking to you because I want to, okay? You don't have to watch. Seriously. If you take stuff that I say personally, just too fucking bad, I'm serious. The other thing I want to say is, like I've shared the book, The 4 Agreements, about the 4 things that can help you. Check them out. It'll help you. Not take things personal. Just let people be themselves. Okay. I received a record in the mail yesterday from Arthur over in London. Arthur, you blow me away. You know, I know it's not cheap for you to send these records to me, but it's so kind of you. Thank you so much. Now, the one that he sent me yesterday was kind of mind-blowing because it was almost like he could read my mind. Because I was just watching a program about this. Okay, I need my glasses. He sent me the new version, the new remastered edition of Apollo by Brian Eno with his brother Roger Eno and Daniel Lanois. This has a whole second album of music that wasn't originally released. I was just watching an interview with those guys about the making of this, which was wonderful to watch. I really appreciate Brian Eno a lot. Excuse me. And subsequently, after seeing it, I was thinking to myself, well, I think I have the original. I sure would like to have this. And then it came in the mail from Arthur. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to look in a second and see if I have the original. I don't remember if I have the original Apollo. I've played this already, and after seeing Eno and the people explain what they were after in doing this, I like it even better. I had always noticed but Daniel Lanois' use of this pedal steel guitar in this music was notable and beautiful. And I got to hear Eno explain the reasoning for that being involved, because when he was commissioned to do this music for a movie about the footage from Apollo, Eno asked for information, about the flight and the astronauts, and found out, to his surprise, that the music that the astronauts chose to take into space with them was country music. Doesn't surprise me. Good old boys, good Americans who, drink the Kool-Aid and follow the script to a T. Of course they listen to country music. Was that a biased, negative thing to say? It could be taken that way, but no, it's an observation from me. All right? So this is just really fantastic. Really, really wonderful. Arthur, thank you so much for sending me this music. Thank you so much. Just going to keep going. Like I said, I just want to keep going. One thing I want to share is, I don't know how it is for you. I think this is probably true. I think it's physiological. But I find that when I wake up early regularly. I don't get up. I wake up, usually that first bathroom call about 4 in the morning. But I find as I'm drifting back to sleep, I have some of the most wonderful, lucid, clear thoughts. And and they're gone when I wake up. I mean, just snippets are there, I grasp at them. It seems like the brain, like as the day wears on, like anything, you get this plaque built up on the brain, and you go to sleep, and it wears off, and it's working more clearly in the morning. That's what it feels like. I like sharing this stuff with you people. So, to share more music that I've been playing, and I'll do it like that, and if I do a poll, I'll do a poll. I don't know right now. Like I said, I visit with my brother regularly, and then yesterday I had Daryl, the guitar player from Scudder, not the one who sings, but the other one who is playing the leads. Daryl stopped by yesterday. And it was nice because we've been playing music for a couple of years now, but we don't hang out, so it was nice for him to come over and hang out. And we talked and listened to some music. And what we listened to was Charles Mingus's Reincarnation of a Lovebird. This is a reissue of it. It came out in a different form in Europe, and this is the first version that came out in the U.S. Double album, 1973 or 4 is when this came out. Charles Mingus, I relate to 100% because he's portrayed as he was an angry black man. He wasn't an angry black man. He was a man who was responding honestly to the treatment that he was suffering as a result of who he was. Mingus was a musical genius, without a doubt. A musical genius. And he was totally frustrated with how he was treated by the world because he's black. And being a light-skinned black person, but not light enough to go white, and he would talk about it, caused him even further consternation. If you don't know this album by Mingus, this is joyful. The title track, Reincarnation of a Lovebird, is joyful. It is powerful in that when I play it, no matter when I play this, it's like the sun comes out. It's really beautiful. And up energy. Mingus on bass is a direct influence on me in the way that he grabs the bass and every note, the whole band feels the note. Even though he's just the bass player, he's commanding the music. Well, actually, it's well documented now. That's why he's so famous. Music drove Charles Mingus, and the way he played grounded everyone. And that's how I play. It's like it was rather a blessing. A few gigs back with Scudder, I had the privilege of overhearing a conversation that I wasn't a part of. The conversation was about the band and about me. And they were basically saying how you guys are really good, but Dereck is amazing. And he dominates the band, even though he's on the bass. Now, it was a compliment, I know what he means, which is the rhythm section in any band sets the tone. It's really true that a band is no better than the drummer. You need a good drummer. But when the rhythm section is popping, everything else is good. And I've got to have the rhythm right. That's why I play bass. I like playing the drums and I like guitar. But we've got to have a good foundation. And Charles Mingus is an example of that. Listen to his music and listen to how the bass works. Listen to it and compare it to other bass works. He was a great, great American. Some more music. Because of the times, I am very conscious politically and socially and value-wise all the time. Thinking about it a lot. Matter of fact, I went to bed kind of pissed that Trump is in my thoughts more than I want him to be because of what's happening in the world. I hate it. I don't hate him. I hate what he represents. So I had to pull out some Bob Marley. It was time for some Bob Marley and the Wailers. Fortifying, uplifting, on point, uprising. I was late to the Bob Marley train, so I missed an opportunity to see him live, okay? I resisted reggae music for a long time, really, really stupidly, okay? This is fantastic. I played this, then I listened to this one all the way through. I think this came out after his death. Confrontation. And the words, okay? So, you hear me always talking about how the music. It is the words, too. But especially for this music, the words are so important. And Bob Marley was such a wonderful poet. Excuse me. Black Man Redemption, Buffalo Soldier. I used to play a lot of Bob Marley in this band, Righteous Vibration, I was in. It was a reggae band. That was the band I was in with Andre Lewis, who played with Frank Zappa. And he has those Mondre albums out on Motown. I played with that guy. Played this yesterday all the way through. Really like this. Miles Davis, Amandla. Produced by Marcus Miller. It's not just one person, but there are several people who have this attitude about after Miles left Columbia or after a certain point, Miles is no good. I understand what they're saying and it's valid, but it don't mean shit to me because I like these records and they're good. Tutu, love that album. Amandla, same thing. What's going on was Marcus Miller was updating the sound, and they were experimenting or rather working with the modern sounds of the day. go-go music out of Washington, D.C. was hitting at this time. So the go-go beat is all over this album. But I like it. I really like this album a lot. I really do. Now, with that said, there's a new Miles Davis album coming out, and I listened to some of it online, and it is garbage. It is garbage, and Miles would be spinning in his grave if he heard this crap that these current producers have added to his playing, trying to capture a market. That was part of what happened in my visit with Daryl yesterday, because he's a guitar player, but he also just retired. He was a businessman and a good one, and he's well-to-do, okay? And he earned it, and we talked about that. We talked about marketing the band Scudder, and I just told him how, I'm just a black hippie. I just hate that way of thinking. I don't like to think about marketing. And he just said, well, it's just reality, and it sucks, but he's right, So the way that they're marketing this new Miles Davis album, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. If someone endeavors to send it to me, I'd love to review it. Hopefully there's at least one worthwhile track on it. But I hate commercialism. I hate what is done to art and to life for the sake of making money. It's cheapened everything, and it's why I keep speaking out, because our life is completely, I will say completely, compromised. The quality of our lives is totally compromised by the business, because people have to make money first. Sucks. I need to make money. I should be marketing myself. I hardly ever talk about my music. I need to make some money. I'm pretty broke right now. Some of you could buy some of my music and help support me. I hardly ever talk about it, do I? It's because I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about living, okay? But it does remind me, and I'll add it now rather than wait. I will talk about my music and Brett Harold Hart. Brother Brett, I hope I meet you and Dave and Carla and some of the other folks. I made 2 CDs. Brett put out 2 CDs. We put out 2 CDs. Brett put it together with stuff that I'd send him. We just got some airplay in Berlin on the radio for this one, Ear Sculpture number 1. Very pleased to hear that, it's getting played. I have a few copies of this still available. I'll leave the link. $10 a pop. Own my music, own our music. This is good stuff. We also got featured on the BBC a while back, playing stuff off of one of these. Real proud of that. What else have I played? Eddie Perez, who posts online music a lot of music, sent this to me and has sent me records. Enslaved in Times, he sent this to me back when it came out, 2015. Very kind of him to send me a limited edition red vinyl. I played side 3 of this maybe 4 times yesterday. Man, I love this band. Once again, their lyrics are meaningless to me, but I feel this music. Viking metal, or whatever they want to call it. It's progressive and I guess kind of black at the same time. Enslaved, I love this band. I've got 4 of their albums. Love Enslaved. Someone was posting the other night online some Calm-Side Angels. I love that band, hadn't played them in a while. So I got on a jag and pulled out Fiction by Calm-Side Angels. Every song on this album. It is perplexing why they did not make it. They had everything, including a good-looking band, which seems to be important. But it didn't connect. I don't understand. I really don't, because this is an excellent UK post-punk band. I've said this before. I know I have the article somewhere in my archives. U2, in their early days, toured with Calm-Side Angels. And Edge partially shaped his guitar sound from what he was hearing from Calm-Side Angels. There's other people that he's stolen from, we all steal. But the band of U2 said it in an article. Yeah, we picked up part of our sound from touring with the Comset Angels. If that piques your interest, please find out about this band. They don't sound like U2. I like them better. And I like U2. We've had enough of U2, though. You know what I'm saying? That's the unfortunate thing about massive success, is that it becomes rotten after a while on the vine. But here's a compilation Comset Angels album, Ends. Some singles, and they're all good. All good. All wonderful. Wonderful. Let's keep going. Hiromi Hosono, who is receiving a renaissance of attention, thankfully. He's the guy that started Yellow Magic Orchestra, not Ryuichi Sakamoto. I love Sakamoto, but Sakamoto got the limelight early on, and I'm sure that irked Hosono. And Hosono's history when it comes to Japanese rock is large. The book Jap Rock lays it out too. He goes back to the beginnings of rock and roll in Japan. This is a beautiful album, Omni Sightseeing. It was recently released for the first time on vinyl by Light in the Attic in America. I've had it on CD for years. I love this album. I love it. He does Duke Ellington's Caravan, but in a way that no one's ever done it before. Hosono's work with electronics was very inspiring to me. He got to the point where he was tired of electronics and went back to old rock and roll and the music of the 40s and stuff from America, which is what enchanted him as a child. But this is a fantastic album. Hosono, Omni Sightseeing. A while back, someone asked me if I would write the names of all the albums afterwards, because some people have difficulty understanding me. But I think I try hard enough for you to find out what the records is. I'm still not going to do that. I see where someone did that recently in their comment. They tried to list all the records and the titles. If you want to do that, go ahead. I'll say this, and I'll say it if it sounds shitty, that's too bad. But if you really want me to do it regularly, would you pay for it? You know, I hate money, but I need it. I'm not a business. I am just a hippie, you know, maybe foolishly so, but this is who I am. I kick against focusing on making money. I need it. I don't really want it. Is that a crazy thing to say? That's who I am. I need it. I don't care about it, okay? Send some to me so I can stay online. Because all I'm doing is paying bills and eating. This album is just one of the greatest albums again. I say these things, but I mean them. Hatfield in the North, their second album, The Rotters Club. Out of the Canterbury School, Dave Stewart goes all the way back to Arzakel, Khan, Egg, and then National Health after this. Just brilliant players. He's a brilliant keyboardist. I love this album to death. And all the players. This is just wonderful music. Wonderful music. It's too good. It's too good for radio, you know. Radio plays garbage. Related to them, Caravan, Richard Sinclair, who started out in Caravan, was in Hatfield in the North. For Girls Who Grow Plump in the Night. This is a fabulous album of theirs. I think this came out in 1973. I've had a few copies of this. This one is real cool because it's a German pressing on the Brain label. Whenever I post this online, it gets attention because Brain, besides being a cool rock label, they license stuff from around the world. So they would put out different stuff on the label that you would not think would be on the label. And this is one of them. And this album is just fantastic. Just fantastic. And they actually interpolate, I think that's the right word, a soft machine theme on here. The Canterbury School of Music is real. It's real. Okay, that's the latest of the stuff that I haven't shown. Otherwise, what's sitting here, listen to some of this Dereck column. It's a bootleg Dereck column from Manchester, a very singular and unique guitarist. I'm flattered that some of my guitar work has been compared to Dereck column. That, you know, I'm nowhere near as skilled as him, but I love the compliment and I understand it. But his playing is very melancholic. A lot of times it sounds sad, almost like he's crying. It's wonderful. Played most of this the other day. I don't have it on vinyl. Sorceress by Opeth. I have the CD. Love this band, and their music is aging well. They started out as a black metal band, and they're progressive metal now. And they've gone through, it's still evolving, actually. The music is still evolving. And the way that they are evolving, when I would first hear these new records, they would be like Heritage. Heritage really, I thought, was flat. It took a long time for me to come around to it. And now this sounds great. Sorceress by Opeth. Fan-frickin-tastic music. La musique. I'll be laying in bed, or I'll be in another room, and I'll be thinking, man, I'd like to show this, and then it just poof, it goes away. All these records, all this music. Is there anything in particular I want to make sure that I show? Because I could do that, you know. Well, here's, just right quick, Curtis Mayfield, Back to the World. I think that Curtis Mayfield's made a lot of amazing albums. How do I say this? I want to say this. I think people who really, how do I say this? I think there's people who probably don't think they would like this album will be blown away by this album. I think it's really very futuristic for when it came out. The music as well as the words. Back to the World. This is one of my favorite albums. Killer. Okay, I'm gonna do it. It's like there's all these areas. See, I want to get some areas where I don't think I got, you know. I'll take a couple here. Let's see what we got. Well, I've talked about him. Alphonso Johnson, the bass player from he was with George Duke, and then he was in Weather Report. But he's made these albums where it's fusion and progressive rock. He was a big Genesis fan, and it's real obvious on this album and the one after it, which is over there. Jazz på Svenska from Sweden. Jan Johansson and Svenska Folkletar. Someone sent this to me, possibly someone in Sweden. This is a highly regarded album. I understand, correct me if I said it wrong, in Sweden as far as the history of jazz. And for good reason. This is a beautiful, great jazz album. Piano and bass, and yet it's fully engaging. Man, this is good. I'm glad I pulled this. Down here, okay, because I haven't gotten down here yet, all right? I'll pull a few. What do we have here? Nitzareb. This is the only thing I've kept by them. It's just a 12-inch single. I can't see the titles. That's the reason. I have to look at it all the way like this. Warsaw Ghetto and So Bright, So Strong. I think So Bright, So Strong is the song that I was digging when it came out and was playing a lot, so I kept this. Nitzareb, they just started going again. I see recently where they got back together and have been out and done some live dates. What's next? The Nits. Aren't they Dutch? Robert Jan Stips from Super Sister was involved in this band for a while. This was given to me, and I like it. It's pop music with a twist. But I'm still not familiar with this, actually, so it's a good thing I pulled this. I'll play some of it, okay? Here's one I don't know anything about the band, but it was like I got it because of the relationship to, I'm looking here, Independent Project Press. Bruce Liker, who's a friend of mine online, almost worked with him in Digital Sex, but he had the band Savage Republic as well as the Independent Project Press, who did this cover. They have this particular way of doing letterpress and stuff, and I found that interesting, and I was able to get this cheaply maybe decades ago. Nisi Period. Soon the love balloon will pop. And I'm going to have to play this because I do not remember what it sounds like. I remember that it was good enough to keep, okay? Nisi Period. And then here's another Nits album, Omsk. I have 2 Nits albums, Omsk. I love music from all around the world. All around the world. I don't know if it was online or here, but someone asked me about my filing system. It's very basic. Years ago, I went through a period where when I was young, in my 20s, I filed stuff by genre. And as I got older, that just didn't work because records would fit in different genres. And then I started to not like the fact that things were almost like in ghettos. So I just put everything together. Last name of the artist is how I do it. Interestingly, a local place that I'm a part of, Hi-Fi House, their library, they file stuff alphabetically by the first name of the artist, which I think is really, what? Name of the band, or the last name of the artist, if it's by them. I have a dedicated section down here for library music. I have a little section over here dedicated just to 12-inch singles, mainly club singles. I have a section of compilations, because compilations are various artists. Some compilations are, depending on what it's about, I'll put the compilation with the primary artist that's on it, but most comps are over in a particular section over here. And I have it's not world music, it's kind of like those None Such Explorer albums and stuff like that, and I have a section like that down here. Okay. Just right quick, I'll just grab something from this area. Like, here's one from my comps section, a Blue Thumb. The Blue Thumb label makes me think of Dave down in Florida, who collects the label Blue Thumb. Okay. I appreciate your comments, folks. I really do. And I'm not going to apologize for being me. I'm going to come correct. I'm going to be me. What I'm feeling and thinking is what I'm going to say. And just take it with a grain of salt if you don't like it. Pretty simple, huh?